Okay. The Mastery of Love book. We're going to chapter 3. If you've read the first or listened to the first couple chapters, let me know. If you haven't, go back and watch those other 2 videos so you can catch up with us. We are on chapter 3. Again, let me know in the comments how you liking it so far. Just a little feedback, that's it. Okay, chapter 3, the man who didn't believe in love. I want to tell you a very old story about the man who didn't believe in love. This is an ordinary man just like you and me, but what made this man special was his way of thinking. He thought love doesn't exist. Of course, he has a lot of experience trying to find love, and he has observed the people around him. Most of his life had been spent searching for love, only to find that love didn't exist. Wherever this man went, he used to tell people that love is nothing but an invention of the poets, an invention of religion, just to manipulate the weak minds of humans and to have control over humans and to make them believe. To have control over humans, to make them believe. Oh, sorry, we already read the part. My bad. He said that love is not real, and that's why no human could ever find love, even though he might look for it. This man was highly intelligent. He was very convincing. He read a lot of books, and he went to the best universities and became a respected scholar. He could stand in many public places in front of many kinds of people, and his logic was very strong. What he said was that love is just like a drug. It makes you feel very high, and it creates a strong need. You can become highly addicted to love. But what happens when you don't receive your daily dose of love? Just like a drug, you need it your everyday dose. He used to say that the most important relationships between lovers are just like relationships between drug addicts. The ones who provide the drugs. The one who has the biggest need is like the drug addict. The one who has a little need is like the provider. The one who has a little need is the one who controls the whole relationship. You can see this dynamic so clearly because usually in every relationship, there is one who loves the most and one who doesn't, who only takes advantage of the one who gives his or her heart. You can see the way they manipulate each other, their actions and their reactions, and they are just like the provider and the drug addict. The drug addict, the one who has the biggest need, lives in constant fear that perhaps he will not be able to get the next dose of love or the drug. The drug addict thinks, what am I going to do if she leaves me? The fear makes the drug addict very possessive. That's mine. The addict becomes jealous and demanding because of the fear of not having the next dose. The provider can control and manipulate the one who needs the drug by giving more doses, fewer doses, or no doses at all. The one who has the biggest need completely surrenders and will do whatever he can to avoid being abandoned. The man went on explaining to everyone why love doesn't exist. What humans call love is nothing but a fear of relationship based on control. Where is the respect? Where is the love they claim to have? There is no love. Young couples in front of representations of God, in front of our family and friends, make a lot of promises to each other. To live life forever, to love and to respect each other, to be there for each other through the good times, the bad times. They promise to love and honor each other and make promises and more promises. What is amazing is that they really believe these promises. But after the marriage, 1 week later, a month later, a few months later, you can see that none of the promises are kept. What you find is a war of control to see who will manipulate who will be the provider and who will be the addict, who will find that a few months later, the respect they swear to have for each other is gone. You can see the resentment, the emotional poison, how they can hurt each other. Little by little, it grows and it grows until they don't know when the love stops. Until they don't know when the love stopped. They stay together because they are afraid to be alone, afraid of their opinions and judgments of others, and also afraid of the judgment and opinion. But where is love? He claimed that he saw many old couples that lived together 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and they are so proud to have lived together all those years. But when they talked about their relationship and they say, we survived the matrimony, that means one of them surrendered to the other at a certain time. She gave up and decided to endure the suffering. The one with the strongest will and less need won the war. But where is the flame they call love? They treat each other like a poison. She is mine, and he is mine. The man went on and on about the reasons why he believed love doesn't exist, and he told others, I have done all that already. I will no longer allow anyone to manipulate my mind and control my life in the name of love. His arguments were quite logical, and he convinced many people by all his words. Love doesn't exist. Then one day the man was walking in the park, and there on a bench was a beautiful lady who was crying. When he saw she was crying, he felt curiosity. Sitting beside her, he asked if he could help her. He asked, why is she crying? You can imagine his surprise when she told him she was crying because love doesn't exist. He said, this is so amazing. A woman who believes that love doesn't exist. Of course, he wanted to know more about her. Why do you say love doesn't exist? He asked. Well, it's a long story, she replied. I married when I was very young, with all the love, all the illusions, full of hope that we would share our lives with this man. We swore to each other loyalty and respect and honor and to create a family. But soon everything changed. I was the devoted wife who took care of the children and the home. My husband continued to develop his career. His success and image outside of the home was more important to him than our family. He lost respect for me. I lost respect for him. We hurt each other. And at a certain point, I discovered that I didn't love him and he didn't love me either. But the children needed a father, and that was my excuse to stay and to do whatever I could to support him now. Now the children are grown and they have left. I no longer have any excuse to stay with him. There's no respect. There's no kindness. I know that even if I find someone else, is it going to be the same? Because love doesn't exist. There is no sense to look around for something that doesn't exist. This is why I'm crying. Understanding her very well, he embraced her and said, you're right, love doesn't exist. We look for love, we open our heart, we become vulnerable, and just to find selfishness. That hurts us even if we don't think we will be hurt. It doesn't matter how many relationships we have, the same thing happens again and again and again. Why even search for love for longer? They were so much alike, they became the best friends ever. It was a wonderful relationship. They respected each other. They never put each other down. With every step they took together, they were happy. There was no envy. There was no jealousy. There was no control. There was no possessiveness. The relationship kept growing and growing. They loved to be together because when they were together, they had a lot of fun. When they were not together, they missed each other. One day, the man was out of town, and the weirdest idea. He was thinking, maybe what I feel for her is love. But there's no different from what I felt before. But this is so different. Sorry. We're going to read that again. One day, when the man was out of town, he had the weirdest idea. He was thinking, maybe what I feel for her is love. But it's not what the poets say it is. It's not what the religious say it is, because I'm not responsible for her. I don't take anything from her. I don't have the need for her to take care of me. I don't need to blame her for any of my difficulties or take my dramas to her. We have the best time together. We enjoy each other. I respect the way she thinks, the way she feels. She doesn't embarrass me. She doesn't bother me at all. I don't feel jealousy when she's with other people. I don't feel envy when she is successful. Perhaps this love does exist, but it's not what everyone thinks love is. He could hardly wait to go back home and talk to her to let her know this weird idea. As soon as he started talking, she said, I know exactly what you're talking about. I had the idea a long time ago, but I didn't want to share it with you because I don't believe in love. Perhaps love does exist, but it isn't what we thought it was. They decided to become lovers and live together, and it was amazing that things didn't change. They still respected each other. They still supported each other. The love grew more and more, and even the simplest things made their hearts sing with love because they were so happy. The man's heart was so full with all the love he felt that one night a miracle happened. He looked into the stars and he found the most beautiful one. And his love was so big that the star started coming down from the sky. And as soon as the star was in his hands, the second miracle happened. And his soul merged with the star. He was intensely happy, and he could hardly wait to go to the woman and put the star in her hand and prove his love to her. As soon as he put the star in her hand, she felt the moment of doubt. This love was overwhelming. And in that moment, the star fell from her hands and broke into a million pieces. Now there was an old man walking around the world swearing that love doesn't exist. And there's a beautiful woman at home waiting for a man, shedding a tear for a paradise that she once had in her hands. But for one moment of doubt, she let it go. This is a story about a man who didn't believe in love. Who made the mistake? Do you want to guess what went wrong? The mistake was on the man's part in thinking that he could give the woman his happiness. The star was his happiness, and his mistake was to put his happiness in her hands. Happiness never comes from outside of us. He was happy because of the love coming out from him. She was happy because of the love coming out from her. But as soon as he made her responsible for his happiness, she broke the star because she could not be responsible for his happiness. No matter how much the woman loved him, she could never make him happy because she could never know what he had in his mind. She could never know what his expectations were because she could not know his dreams. If you take your happiness and you put it in one's hands, sooner or later, she's going to break it. If you give your happiness to someone else, you can always take it away. If you give your happiness to someone else, you can always take it away. Then, if happiness can only come from inside you and is the result of your love, you are responsible for your happiness. You can never make someone responsible for your own happiness. But when we go to church and we get married, and the first things we do is exchange rings. We put a star in each other's hand expecting that she is going to make you happy and you are going to make her happy. It doesn't matter how much you love someone. You're never going to be what that person wants you to be. This is the mistake most of us make right from the beginning. We base our happiness on our partner, and it doesn't work that way. We make all of those promises that we cannot keep, and we set ourselves up to fail. Well, look at that. So that was chapter 3. If you're following along, chapter 4 is up. So go watch that. Let me know what you think. This is doing some stuff for me. I just have to say. So let me know. See you later.